What's up, guys and gals? Danny Lightning back, and we have a brand new race pass up on the map. So we're going to take a look at the free cars and the paid cars and find out if any of these cars are actually worth your time. We're going to go and start off with the free tier first. So in the free tier, we have the GT Black Series, the McLaren Elva, and then we have the 2024 Nissan GTR Nismo R35 Japan spec, which is a mouthful to say. And I only find one of these to have a decent live racing setup. I don't think any of these cars are wonderful live racers, but one of them might win a couple of live races for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off by talking about the McLaren Elva. Now, this car is rather disappointing when it comes to live racing. This car is not really going to do much as far as a live racing setup. So we're just going to go over the specs on this one. So the McLaren Elva is not going to be much of a dyno beating car. Do not expect this to do dyno. Or beat dyno, I should say. It's got a top speed of 391 miles per hour, which really isn't all that exciting, but that's a decent top speed. The acceleration, you can do 0 to 60 in about 0.8 and 0 to 100 in about 1.1, so that's not bad. It's got good acceleration, decent top speed. It's running in the 7.1, so it's a decently fast car. Not going to be a good live racer, though. I would not try to live race this thing. It doesn't beat the dyno, and it doesn't have a low performance point high evo setup, so not a great car overall in my opinion, but it's a decent car. Next up, we are going to take a look at the Mercedes GT Black Series, and well, let's talk about this one. So this is a really nice looking car, but unfortunately, I don't find this one to be that great at live racing. The car looks amazing, but you know, that's kind of about the only thing that has going for it, in my opinion, so yeah. Not the world's greatest live racer. Now, as far as this car goes, this car has a dyno time of about a 7.803, and this car will run 7.781, so it's not really much of a dyno beater. It might beat dyno by about a tenth of a second. It's got a top speed of 429 miles per hour. It can go 0 to 60 in about 1.0, and it can do 0 to 100 in about 1.6, so a decent top speed, decent acceleration, and it runs about a 7.7 and doesn't beat the dyno. I do not find this car to be very good at live racing, so I would not really try to set this up for live personally. Don't really care for it. So great looking car, but you know, not the greatest car in the game. Next up, we have the 2024 Nissan GTR Nismo R35 Japan spec, and this one does have a little bit of a live racing setup. I don't think it's going to be the world's best live racer, but you can set this up for live racing. I think it does require a stage 6 part. I do have a video on how to set this up for live racing if you want to check it out, but I think it does really require a stage 6 part to be decent at live racing, but not even good at live racing. So this car does have a dyno time of around 7.5 and it runs 7.584, so it's not really a dyno beating car either. It has a top speed of 380 miles per hour, which is decent. The acceleration is 0.9 for the 0 to 60, and 0 to 100 is like 1.4, so it's got good acceleration, decent top speed. Not a great time, not a great live racer. It will win a few live races here and there on the low performance point high evo setup, but still, I'm not really thrilled with any of these cars that are in here. I mean, I guess if I had to choose, I would either go for the AMG just because it looks cool, or I would go for the Nissan because it also looks cool. The McLaren, I don't really like that car very much. The Elva, don't really like it. So it's kind of a choice between the GT and the GTR, right? The GT or the GTR. Those are your two choices on the free ones. In my opinion, which one's better? I guess you're just going to have to go over the specs I gave you and go by that, because I would probably go with the McLaren on it. I mean, I'm sorry. I think I would go with the GTR. Honestly, I think I would just go with the GTR. It does have the capability to be set up for live racing, even though it's not going to be the greatest, but that's the one I think I would choose out of these three cars right here. So let's go ahead and move on to the paid tier. Alright, so the paid tier has the Gobstopper, which is a car that I really do like, that does have a nice live racing setup. We got the Plymouth Cuda Torque, and we got the 918 Spider, whatever you call it, package right there. Some people told me how to say it last time. I couldn't figure out how to say it, and I don't remember. But yeah, the something package. We'll just call it the 918 Spider something package. Let's go ahead and start off by taking a look at the 918 Spider Y Sauce package, or whatever package, or whatever you want to call it. So this car will beat the dyno time by a couple tenths of a second, so this is a natural dyno beater. It can run about a 7.5, and it'll do 455 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in about 1.1, 0 to 100 in about 1.6. So it's got nice top speed, decent acceleration. It's somewhat fast, running a 7.5. This car does have a live racing setup. Probably not going to be the world's best live racing setup, but you can set this up to live race. But my honest opinion on this car is it's just kind of an okay car overall, nothing too special. I wouldn't really focus on, I mean, if you already got the car and you've got it leveled up, then go ahead and set it up for live racing. But I don't think I would just upgrade this car just for live racing, or get this car just for live racing, because it's probably not going to be the world's greatest live racer. But yeah, it's just kind of an okay car. So let's move on to the next one. I think the next car we're going to look at is the Coup de Torque Weaver Customs, and this thing is absolutely beautiful. This is one of the coolest looking cars in the game in my opinion, but the question is this car good? Alright, so sadly this car is not a good live racer, not even close. My understanding though is you can set this car up to beat the dyno by a lot. Personally, I don't really do the down tunes. I don't know how to do it. I don't promote it because I don't like that, you know, but I guess there is a way to tune this to make it beat the dyno like crazy, but don't quote me on that. That's just what I've heard from other people. I've never actually tried. So this crazy looking beautiful car has a dyno time in the 7.9s, and it also runs in the 7.9s, so there's that. It has a top speed of about 289 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in 0.4, and 0 to 100 in 0.8. So the acceleration on this car is top notch. This thing has great acceleration. And the top speed is 298 miles per hour, so not the greatest top speed, but an overall cool car, somewhat fast, looks amazing. Might be able to beat the dyno like on a regular tune. This does not beat the dyno. This does not live race. Now, if you can figure out how to tune it to beat the dyno, you might be able to win a few live races. But mind you, anytime you're live racing and beating the dyno, the game picks up your car and moves it to a faster lobby over and over and over until it can't win anymore. So that's the problem with live racing dyno beaters. But supposedly, don't quote me on it, supposedly this thing does have a crazy dyno beating tune, but still not going to be the best choice for this race pass, in my opinion, unless you just want this thing for the looks. Alright, so the Gobstopper. If you can get a stage 6 body and a stage 6 transmission for this car, it will have a really nice live racing setup, and it does seem to win a lot of live races. It's going to suck without those two stage 6 parts though, but it does have a low performance point high evo tune where you basically put the tires on 3, transmission on 6, body on 6, nitrous on like stage 2 or 3, and leave the rest of the parts on stock. But you know, you got to get those stage 6 parts or it's going to just be kind of at live racing. So there's that. So if you max out the Gobstopper, this car is capable of running a 6.6, so this is a very fast car. It beats the dyno by a little teeny tiny weeny teeny bit, so it's not much of a dyno beater. It's got a top speed of 381 miles per hour. It can do 0 to 60 in 0.6 and 0 to 100 in 0.9. I mean, this is by far the best car out of all of them, and in my opinion, it also looks extremely cool. I mean, this is a really cool car, and I think it's a great car, especially for live racing, if you can get those two stage 6 parts. If you don't get the stage 6 parts, it's going to probably be at live. Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. I guess I never actually put out a full video for this car, but I did make a video on how to set this car up for live racing without the stage 6 parts, and then it also shows you with the two stage 6 parts. So there is a video to show you how to set this up, but this is actually, in my opinion, a awesome car. So this is definitely going to be my top choice for tier 5, or for the paid tier. I'm sorry, for the paid tier. The paid ones, I would choose this guy right here. I like it. I like it a lot. I guess my second choice would be the Plymouth, just because I like the way it looks, and my last choice would be that Porsche. So yeah, I would say the Subaru is my very, very, very top pick. See, I stuttered there, so I had to save it. Like, I was doing something cool, even though I was just stuttering. And then my second favorite would be a Plymouth, and then the Porsche, right? So kind of in the order from right to left is how I would choose those. So yeah, the Gobstopper is really, 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 really good. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And again, on the free tier, I mean, there's really nothing in here that I'm wild about, but I do think my first choice would be the Nissan. I mean, between the other two, I mean, it is what it is. Don't care for either of those cars. I mean, I guess I would go with the Mercedes just because it looks better than the McLaren in my opinion. But if you think the McLaren looks better, then maybe go with the McLaren if you don't decide to get the GTR. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the deal right there. But the Gobstopper's in there. That's a car that I never got on my account and I would really like to have. So yeah, the Gobstopper. Cool car. Get yourself a everlasting Gobstopper from Willy Wonka, yeah. That's my jingle for this car. Even though Willy Wonka didn't make it, that's still my jingle for this car. So there we have it. I think that's pretty much it. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If you drop down my video's description, you'll see my Discord server, my other YouTube channels, some ways to help support the channel and keep it running. You'll see some important game news you might be interested in. I'll try and make the Gobstopper and the GTR video pop up in just a second. It'll be up on the top of the screen up here somewhere, so you can actually see that and find those videos so you can figure out if those cars seem like they might be for you. Unfortunately, like I said, it wasn't a full video for the Gobstopper, so it will show you how to live race it. I think Zoocar's got a great video for the Gobstopper if you want to look up how to drive it on a maxed out situation. But yeah, maybe I'll get around to making a full video for that one if I get a chance, because that's a really, really, really cool car. And yeah, I guess that's it for the day, guys and gals. Thank you for watching. You guys are amazing. Lightning out. Have a great day. See ya.